Hey, welcome back to my channel. So today we've got some new stock for the 250. Since I heard the state is going to start closing everything tomorrow, it was my last chance to get anything. I almost bought fish, but I didn't because they just didn't have what I was looking for. So what I did get, I got a tiger conch and some hermit crabs, although a couple of those don't look like there are hermit crabs in there. Anyway, let's try and get the lid on this thing, and then we'll start getting them acclimated. But just look at that tiger conch move. So I like using these betta cups to acclimate, because generally they float, and if you got the lid on it, it does have the little air port in the top, which I can then pour in some tank water to help acclimate. But anyway, it has this nice air hole at top, so that's how I can pour in the water. So just slowly add in some tank water so that what's in there gets used to what my salt water tastes like as opposed to where they came from. Unfortunately, there's such strong flow in this tank that that's a little bit more violent than I would like it to be. Alright, so I figured I'd have a less of a problem with this cup getting knocked around if I put it down here in the sump. And I'm still going to achieve the same effect of changing the temperature of the water that they're in to the temperature of the water of the tank. Skimmer today is working a little differently than it was before. It has a lot more body, so I've been playing with the valves and kind of turned it down a little bit, but it's definitely producing a skim. Alright, so I think I might just done something to the pump there because all of a sudden it got loud. Alright, so that weird vibration was coming from this thing. So I don't know, I seem to have pressed on it. Seems to be like the vacuum chamber, because like I can create a vacuum by touching that. Anyway, that was fun to play with for a minute. So the time has come to release these hermit crabs and tiger conch. It's pretty cool how he does that. Hermit crabs are in a confused pile. So thankfully these are tiny hermit crabs, so at least for the time being, I don't have to worry about them trying to murder my snails, hopefully. And these are supposedly different types of hermit crabs anyway, so supposedly these kind aren't the kind that will hunt and try and kill the snails, so we'll see. Also got some new food samples. This is Hikari crab cuisine, and hopefully it sinks, but we're going to try and drop a pellet or two if we can get it out of here. Alright, and they went every which way but where I was trying to put them. So it's going to be up to the crabs to find them now. I'm also going to take one of these, and I know my crabs will find these for sure. Let me just see where they are to begin with. I'll try and drop it close. Alright, here's one back here. Of course, now the problem is going to be getting this to the bottom before the clownfish find it. Yep. So much for that idea. I'm gonna have to wait till the lights go out to try and feed that. They are so fast. The two that fell in there did not make it even halfway to the bottom. Well, the brine shrimp tank, basically all the brine shrimp died except for that one right there. The pods were doing fine though, but I did change most of the water in here, and I told you this thing had an air pump, right? So I hooked an air line to that air stone that was in the nano cube, that was in the skimmer of the nano cube. And so I stuck that air stone on there, so just to give the water a little bit more splash. I did throw in some brine shrimp eggs, but it looks like what has happened is that they just splashed up to the wall and then stuck to the wall and didn't hatch. Either that or these eggs that I have down here are no good. Well, the bristlenose upstairs haven't quite taken to the pleco wafers or the algae wafers I've been giving them. So I'm going to do something that I used to do back with my other bristlenose, which is I'm going to take a cucumber here and I'm going to cut some slices into it. Alright, so I have sliced up my cucumber, and I'm going to boil some water here and blanch it real quick, just to make sure there's nothing nasty on there that I'd be putting in the fish tank. So now we just got to wait for the water to boil. Alright, now we got a pretty good boil going. Go ahead and toss in the cucumber slices. And we're not really cooking the cucumbers, we're just blanching them. So a couple of seconds with in the boiling water, and then we'll cut it off and drain the cucumber slices out. Alright, we're going to take our cucumber slices here. Move the scraper down to this end so we can watch them. Of course, that went to the exact wrong spot for us to watch. And then that one wants to float. So I can't be sure if they smell it, but they're there like they're waiting for it. And Big Dumb Betta's gonna try and eat it. But anyway, we've got the time lapse going. Hopefully somebody in here tries to eat. Somebody besides that stupid Betta. We'll just attack it. There's nothing else, these snails will eat this stuff for sure. So it's the next day here, and here's what remains of the cucumber slices. They've all kind of collected into this spot because all the Java moss is kind of trapping everything down here. The super red really seemed to like this stuff and has been on it as much as possible when the bed is not chasing them away from it, as you just saw in the time lapse. But the albino seem to have gotten some too. There are more slices in there, or at least there were. None of them quite landed anywhere where I could see them. Let's go ahead and feed the betta. You gotta lead him to the food because he won't figure out it's there unless you point it to him. Lights are starting to ramp down in this tank, but I think the algae is starting to clear some. It's really hard to tell. Conch snail has been from one end of the tank to the other. This narcissus snail climbed glass and back down. But everybody, all the cleanup crew is making its way around the tank. And they seem to be doing a good job. Plus the lights being turned down may have affected it some. I'm not seeing the spray on the front glass anymore. So hopefully that's taken care of. Over here in the cube, algae is practically non-existent anymore. I'm not getting as much of the scum on everything since I've been knocking down the bristlenose population. Although I haven't trapped in a couple of days, and there are a couple kind of frantically waving around for food right now as we speak. There's one right there. There's so much less algae in here now. The green hair algae on the back, that's all that's left of it, is those couple of little patches down there. And the turbo snail I picked up the other day is working on it as we speak. The NEM has mostly been full all day, but at the same time looks like it's moving back underneath the rock. But the lights are going to be out before too long here, and I'm sure it's going to open right up again. That's just the way it's going to be, I guess. Well, the Java moss in this tank has long since been out of control. Plus there's a couple of limbs and stuff in there that need pruned. So I'm going to cut some of this moss back and clean this tank up a bit, since I got nothing better to do. Alright, well, the tank has been trimmed back. I still left a bunch in there. I think I might smoosh that down some more. But I just opened it up a whole lot more. Now you can see the difference between the Java moss and the Marimo moss that covers the... What is he trying to eat there? Anyway, so my Anubias in the back wasn't quite stuck down, so it's apparently split into several smaller pieces, so I spread those out some more. And we'll have to wait for this water to clear up before we get a really decent look at it, but lights are going to go out soon, so we might not get that look. I got the cover back on it. It's cleared up some. Obviously there's something I got to scrape out of the filter there. But the light's going to go out in any minute now, so we'll just enjoy our last look at the tank. Bristle nose there, bristle nose back there. Big dumb betta here. You can see the root stem of that Anubias coming through there. You can see the root system of the Cryptocore Vendetti, I think is the name of it. I don't know. Oh, I can see both bristle nose. There's one there and one there, and the red one's there. So there's all three of them. Get to see them a second time today. Part of what was stuck to that filter intake was that ring there, which is the outside of the cucumber slice that I threw in there, at least one of them. You can see the three that are left here in this spot are being dismantled as we speak by the millions of snails that I have in here. Now all these aren't snails, some of these are long dead snails, because you can't really see it right there, but I had an assassin snail in here for a while, and this was his favorite killing ground. So most of the snails you see on the ground here are just empty shells. What are you looking at? But anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. And like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you next time.